We are now recording.
Who are you and what's your mission?
First and foremost, my name is Larry Jerome Williams. Uh, I've been incarcerated before, and my mission is just to bring awareness and to try to help people. And the awareness that I'm bringing attention to is the plight of the carceral system. So that would mean the industrial prison complex and everything entangled up with it. I too have been incarcerated. I did over a decade straight in prison in one sitting. Unfortunately, I've been to prison 3 times. And yeah, when I served over a decade straight, though, I was illegally incarcerated. I was incarcerated for a crime that I never committed, that it was not even possible for me to commit any shape, way, form, or fashion. I never had been to this place or anything, and it was proven even by the victim in my crime. I was charged with kidnap, false imprisonment, and a few other crimes. Um, I was involved in some other stuff, but the crime that I was sentenced for, it was illegal. It was unjust, and I sat in prison for a decade because I believed they couldn't find me guilty of other crimes. So, with that being said, while I sat in there, it woke up a person inside of me to say, this is unjust. And did I want to be a part of, participating in street, nonsense and, not being a righteous person? Or do I want to be the righteous person that I am and step up to the plate and help my brothers and sisters that are locked up? Um, it means a lot to me. Unfortunately, in the community that I come from, majority of the people that lived on the street I lived on had been to jail or prison, and even the parents that raised the kids on the street that I lived on. So, I mean, incarceration became a regular thing or just something that you were used to or you saw. When you saw that your friend's father was gone, you just would say, oh, well, damn, he's in prison or whatever. You would figure it out because that just became part of the system I lived in. And it was also a way of desensitizing me and other youths and branding us and getting us ready to go to prison. And I mean, it's an unfortunate system and it's a cycle. And I want to be part of breaking that cycle. Um, I have not always been the best person in my life, and I'm not going to act like I have been, but for a long time, I've been a good person. I just hadn't been applying the actions and doing the things the way that it should be on a regular basis. And I struggled for a long time. And I don't mean struggled like bad days or things like that behind it. I just mean I struggled. I guess I was straddling the fence. Do I either want to help or do I want to, just turn a blind eye like everybody else is doing and speak about it, but really not put forth an action? So I decided to get on the side of helping and applying my knowledge and helping people. And I believe I can do a lot of good. Um, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a law degree. I'm not going to lie and say I do. I do have education degrees. And one thing about me, when I put my mind to something, I put my all into it. When I ran the streets, I put my all into it. When I broke the law, I put my all into it. When I hustled and everything else I did, I put my all into it. So now on this side, I'm going to put my all into it. I'm going to be completely dedicated and I'm passionate about this. This affects people that I love. Unfortunately, I've had to spend almost half of my life incarcerated. And I'm now in my late 40s. I'm 47 to be exact. And I spent almost half my life in prison. So therefore, I really don't have too many friends or associates or people that I really even do too much with in the free world. All my friends are in prison. All the people that I care about are in prison. The people that I've come to know and learn, they are incarcerated. And I've come to know and learn a lot of people because there's a lot of people locked up inside of the California Department of Corrections and the Federal Department of Corrections. And I've served time in both. And so I'm just trying to free my brothers and my sisters. There's a lot of people locked up unjustly. It's a lot of people that have been locked up and abused by the law that sentenced them to prison or county jails. In crimes where a person should probably get 2 or 3 years, they're getting 20. and crimes where people are supposed to get, maybe 10 years and some parole, you're giving them 100. And I mean, literally giving people 100 years. I have a friend of mine. They gave him 1,136 years and life sentences. And it really does not make no sense to do that. If you're trying to tell a person that you don't want them back on the streets, you just tell them, hey, you got life, and then you mean it. But a lot of the times, even when you give a person life, they don't deserve life in prison. They deserve rehabilitation, especially when you put that on the name of your institutions. Speaking of the California Department of Rehabilitations, and there ain't no correction. You know how I left that out? The California Department of Rehabilitations. I need to leave that out too. There is no California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. That's the name that they put on it. But really, is what it is. It's just a warehouse. It's a human meat locker. And if you broke the law, oh, for sure, I'm for sure with that. You need to go to jail and serve time and pay the cost. But if you break the law and the people that are supposed to enforce the law abuse it, I'm not for that. If your rights are being infringed upon, and listen to me, and don't take this wrong, America, even if you're guilty, but your rights are being infringed upon, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to judge you. I don't care what your crime is. I don't care what you've done. If you have a valid point that you want to bring, you're welcome to come on my show. Even if you don't have a valid point, even if you want to come on my show and you're on the antagonistic side of what I'm representing, you're welcome to come on here, because it's not just about my opinion. It's about everybody's opinion. And even the antagonistic side is the good side, because law enforcement is not bad. You have to have law to have order in this life. And without law and order, we would be living in a chaos, peril of world, or just our country. Just look how it is in Afghanistan and other countries. And I'm not saying they're lawless, but their laws are different, And I don't mean to say this bad about any other countries, but we're more civil than most countries when it comes to our laws on paper. But when it comes to the enforcement of laws, we're similar to the countries like Afghanistan. It just looks better over here because, we have cities and metropolises and things of that nature. But back to the topic at hand, I just want to help. That's it.
What is the name of your podcast and why are you doing this?
The name of my podcast is TierTalk. And then also for those who want to contact me, I have an email, and it's called TierTalk1@gmail.com. TierTalk 1@gmail.com. And I will put it up on the screen during this podcast. And yeah.
How can people participate?
Let me go back to the other question that I ignored. Why am I doing this? I just told you why I was doing this prior to me telling you what TierTalk is, but I'm doing this because I care, man. I'm doing this because people need a voice, and the voiceless have been ignored for so long. I was in San Quentin, and I was one of the first inmates affected with COVID. I damn near died from COVID, and it really affected me. It really woke me up, though. There have been a lot of things that have happened in my life in the last 3 years, I want to say, roughly, that have changed the way I look at things. Actually, about the last 5 years. Let me take that back. But sometimes, the Creator, He places things upon you for a reason, and it's to open your eyes. And I had some real eye openers. That's why I'm doing it. What's the question again?
How can people participate?
You can participate just by actively participating. One thing I've not done, because, I'm not about that, but I guess that's what has to be done in order to grow this. I've not come on here and made videos or even had episodes that are prior to this first video saying, please like me. I need your likes. Follow me. Come on, follow me. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it a different way, because it's not about me. It's about the people I'm trying to help and represent. And I do have a lot of my folks who I talk to on the phone on a regular basis, because deeper than just this podcast, I support brothers up in there who don't have nobody. I send packages out of my money. I send letters, stamps, if they need pictures, whatever. I place them on websites so they can try to find them a mate, a pen pal, whatever be the case. So yeah, I just care. That's all.
What platforms are your podcasts aired on?
Um, anyone can participate, and my podcast is aired on a lot of platforms, and you can actively participate by, you know, liking, following, forwarding. That's the way to actively participate. That's the only way it grows. And then I'm on Castbox, I'm on Overcast, I'm on Pocket Cast, I'm on Google Podcasts, I'm on Apple Podcasts, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Anchor, and I will start placing these videos on YouTube, and it'll be a channel called TierTalk One. I already have it. I prepared for this, and I just didn't push the issue because I'm not a glory hound. I'm not an attention whore. I'm not none of that. And these last few days, uh, there's been some tests that have been placed in my life. And of course, I'm going to pass them because, I'm not the same person I used to be. Or should I say, I've always been the person that I am, but my actions and my responses to situations, they're different now because my mission is more important than getting sidetracked or getting pulled into girl gossip and little kid things, even men gossip, whatever it be. But yeah, that's me. I'm an open and shut book. And let me say this before we get to the next question. I'm not gonna come onto this platform or come into nobody's lives acting like I'm something that I'm not. I'm only me, Larry Williams. Up under these long sleeve shirt that I have on, or that you'll see me wearing on a regular basis, because I don't want people seeing my tattoos and things of that nature and maybe taking things wrong. But I do want you to know I do have tattoos, and I'm not hiding my tattoos. You will see them, but I have a lot of gang related. I have a lot of tattoos that represent violence. I have a lot of words on me that are disrespectful to other entities, other people, things of that nature. And one thing I am about is respect. So, and being honest. That's the main thing I'm about, being honest. So I just want to let you know that I'm a street dude. I'm not going to act like I'm not from the streets. Do I participate in street activity anymore? Nah. Will I ever again? Definitely not. The price is too high for me. I'm not willing to pay that price at all. I can't. I used to be willing to pay that price, earlier on in my life. You dedicate yourself to something and, you know, you stick to it. One thing I say, and you'll learn about me and you'll hear from poems and different things that I'm going to start presenting. Um, Loyalty was my worst enemy because I was loyal to a fault, to a movement, and to people that weren't loyal to me. And now my actions, like I said, are reflecting who I'm loyal to. And I'm gonna be loyal to people, but I'm gonna be loyal to my movement and to the movement of criminal justice reform. I feed the homeless on a regular basis. It was daily. Now it's about 4 or 5 times a week. Um, I do a lot of things that are positive and constructive. I make phone calls for people. I've helped people get attorneys. I've helped people just, be aware of what they need to do. And that's what it is.
Is there anything else you want to share before ending?
Um, I'm just going to give whoever is out there that needs help just some jewels because that's what needs to be done in this world, right? A lot of people have information and insight, and I see it all the time. There are very large abundance of people that have intelligence, and they go on YouTube and different sites, and they offer you tidbits, but they bait you in and then tell you that you got to pay $49.99 to be part of a master class or anything like that. I'm not about none of that. I don't want a dollar from you. I really don't. Um, I'm going to give you the game, but I'm going to say this first. I've had a couple people try to offer me money to be on the podcast, or they thought that that's what it's supposed to be. And actually, some have mentioned to me that some of these podcasters out here are accepting their money. That's never supposed to happen. One thing about a podcast, it's free. It's free to the person that's doing it. This is free to me. I pay in other ways because it does cost me to do things, but whatever. But the thing about the podcast is you get paid from the company if you generate enough likes, views, follows, or whatever. So if a person's really into trying to make some money, build your platform, grow it, and build your platform for the purpose of doing good or whatever you're doing. If you just got the platform to talk about movies, books, whatever, that's your personal thing. But if you're trying to do something about social justice and try to make social changes, don't try to play people out of money. And then the game that I'm going to give you is this. Me personally, when you come in contact with me, I'm going to give you a plan of action. And the plan of action is one, if your child is incarcerated and is fighting a case, you need to get out and get ahead of the case. You need to be faster and smarter than the people that are prosecuting your child or your loved one, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, right? That's the first thing that you need to know. You have to be ahead of them. It's kind of like a race, and there is a finish line because you already know the finish line is sentencing. So you have to be faster than the person you're racing against. And I say that to say, if you're fighting a state case in whatever state you're in, you need to know the laws that you're up against. And whatever your loved one is charged with, you need to do your research. That way you'll know what the law is, what it entails, and maybe that the wording might stick to them because the wording is important. That's what gets you caught up in the law most times often than not. And even if you're guilty of it or not, like how I sat in prison for over a decade, it wasn't just that they put me in there for the illegal crime that made me be stuck. It was the wording. The wording is what had me stuck. So pay attention, get out ahead of it, be passionate. Put the same passion into fighting for your loved one or whoever is incarcerated. Even if you're just an advocate yourself and you want advice, put that same passion that you would put for your loved one or for yourself. And the same amount of time that a lot of people put into their, novelties and to watching sports is the same amount of time that you can put into helping somebody on a regular basis, and you can make some change. But just those first little tidbits, you want to be ahead of whatever's before you. You want to be versed in the laws that the person that you're trying to help is facing. And then you also want to know that you have rights, especially when it comes to dealing with attorneys, when it comes to dealing with public pretenders. A few of them are really public defenders, but when it comes to dealing with public pretenders, you have to be spot on. You have to know the law because they're going to tell you a whole bunch of stuff and sell you a dream and make it seem like they're going to beat the case and all of that, because that's just a part of what lawyers are going to do. He's trying to sell himself. He's branded himself and all that. But at the end of the day, most public defenders are they're still wet behind the ears. They still are green. They got milk on their lips, man, they fresh off of mommy's tit, straight up. And they are giving your loved ones freedom to practice with. That's just the cut and dry of it. Some know the law real well and go and beat other, attorneys that they represent against, which is the prosecution. But for the most part, it doesn't happen that way. So that means that you need to become versed in the law. That means that you need to take the time and read a few pages, even if it's just a few pages a day. If you are really trying to help the person that's locked up that you say you love or that you're advocating for, or that you're trying to bring social change, whatever you're trying to do this for, you need to know what you're doing. You can't go fight against the law and they know the law and you don't. You've already lost the battle. You can't go fight against the law and you partially know the law. You're going to lose the battle. You really got to go get yourself seen. Come on my podcast or on other podcasts, create your own podcast, because this is the advice I'm starting to give people. You make your own word be heard too. It ain't just about coming on my show or anybody else's show. Sometimes you got to step outside the box, even if it's just making t-shirts. There's so much that you can do nowadays. You can go on Amazon and buy kits that help you make keychains. You can make free whoever. I love them keychains to bring awareness or bring attention to your situation. So many things have to happen, though, when you're advocating for people. And you have to just step outside your box, study, know what the laws are, get ahead of the situation, stay ahead of the situation, you know, uh, get an understanding with the representing party, which would be the attorney for the said person. And if the attorneys aren't doing what they're supposed to do, then you need to let your loved one know things that they can do to get rid of the attorney or how they can make the attorney do their job. Because there are ways that you can come in open court, address the court respectfully, and get things changed and get things done. And with that being said, that's the tidbits that I wanted to give you. That's the bits of information that I wanted to share with you about me, Larry Williams, about my podcast. The company Anchor and Spotify saw that I was doing something good, obviously, because they are allowing me to do video podcasting now a lot sooner than I was supposed to be able to. And I appreciate that because I'm only trying to bring a positive message. I don't have nothing negative to say, and you can guarantee this. Listen to me. I'm not going to judge you or your loved one. I've been judged all my life, you know, from when I was dating females to when I hung out with people, you know, because of the things that I used to be into. When dating females back in the day, hanging out in Compton or wherever I was hanging out, right? Females would be scared to come around me and the people I hung out with because we would participate in violence. So I was always prejudged, but I would have never took them around violence. But I also understood because I didn't have no control where the violence went, especially when you're participating in gang violence. So that is one of the things that I've walked away from. A long time ago, I walked away from gang violence, and I mean literally walked away from it. I know my folks that really love me, they were mad when I told them I was done, but as time went on, they understood. We communicate things of that nature, but I will no longer participate in the perpetual system of violence where I am hurting people that look like me, first and foremost. You know, when I look in the mirror, I see a black man. And this is not about black and white. This is just something I'm saying to the public. And I used to participate in trying to kill, hurt, maim, whatever, people that looked like me. And it continues to go on today. And I'll be so mad about it. I'll be mad when I see these rappers come on TV and they talk all this stuff. And then they have an epiphany. Man, they make a video talking about, oh, the industry's bad or whatever. And I just seen a video about some of this type of crap today, right? They'll tell you the industry's bad and, oh, they got me wearing these chains and stuff to pull you in. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to stop rapping negatively? Are you going to stop telling people that it's cool to kill people and ride around with guns? Are you going to actively make a difference? Are you going to, take some of the diamonds that are in the diamond baguette stones that are in your grill and just take 10 of them out? Just any rapper, right? You be rapping about these VVS stones and all that. Are you going to take some of them stones out of your mouth and liquidate them and turn them into cash assets and then start an organization to help people? These dudes really piss me the fuck off, straight up. And I love that I have this platform because now I get to bring attention to their asses too, for real. Because it's like you have all this money, and yeah, it ain't about money, but the money can make change and it can do a lot of good and a lot of difference. And y'all ain't doing what you're supposed to. You'll make a video and talk about how you fucked off 500 grand and had a yacht party, and I'll be seeing this stuff, right? You'll make videos and say how you went to the local strip club and, oh, this is donating to the moms in the hood. Okay, cool. The women up there shaking their asses trying to make money. They subjecting themselves to that so they can try to pay their bills. Some of them is going to college. Some of them become great people or going to become great people. But that ain't giving back in the hood. You motherfuckers are sorry. And this is to every rapper that's out there that ain't doing something positive. I don't care who you are, Yo Gotti's, the ESTGs, and all that. I really did used to like and listen to all y'all music and dig it. But the more and more that the creator makes me conscious and opens my mind, it just lets me see what you people really are. And when I say you people, I'm talking about the rappers and the people in the industry. A lot of you, even some of you who even do give, it's smoke screens. Really give. Really go to another country with the money that y'all got and give. Really come in this country with the money you got and give. I can't see how y'all have a party or whatever and spend $200,000 or $300,000 on that party, but you couldn't take $50,000 and start an organization that can show people how to start organizations. Get it? You couldn't take just a little bit of money to try to help people create change. You'll come on TV and do something for likes, or you'll participate in iHeart concerts and all that and say you want to enact change, but then you go right back into your world, spending money, getting drunk, high off the drugs that y'all do and whatever else, and promoting violence. Come on, stop it. Really step up to the plate. And I'm calling all of y'all out. Every entertainer, every rapper, hip hopper with grills in your mouth and your tight ass pants that you sag with your asses hanging out. I'm calling all of y'all out. You in the videos promoting violence, riding around with your Dracos and all that shit that you probably ain't even gonna use. You're gonna set your man up to use it. And then when your man get busted for doing whatever he do, you're gonna leave him hanging and you're gonna make a video and talk about free boopty doo. But you ain't even probably writing it, brother. And you may have put money on his books once, but you're not actively participating and trying to do nothing for that brother, because you actively probably participated in sending him to do the dumb shit that sent him to prison. So I have no respect for no rappers. I actually am quitting to listen to rap. I will no longer support it. I can't, you know. I use rap in a lot of the videos that I do because it brings awareness and attention and it brings people in. So that might be the only setting that you'll see me doing anything with rap in the background, because I'm so done with it. I like artists like A.E.M and stuff like that. I've been listening to him, and there's a song called New Life by A.E.M. Please check it out. And this is not me promoting him or nothing. This is just that song really moves me. So, and with that being said, I'm going to quit being long-winded. I'm going to let y'all go to enjoy your day. This is the first installment of the video podcast. It will still be audio too. And yeah, we're going to make this movement grow. But I do want to say, please follow me. You're going to see something different over here. Please pay attention. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm trying to help people. Don't ever let nobody tell you that I'm trying to be famous. I ain't never been about that. I don't like notoriety, and the things that I was into have made me very reclusive, because when you run the streets and you really hustling and stuff like that, you don't want attention. So unfortunately, I'm 47 years old now, and I ran the streets for a long time and hustled for a long time. So I didn't like people around me, and I kept people out of my business, because that's what you do. I've never been one who talks, because the saying is gangsters move in silence, and we won't let that be what it is. So with that being said, I'm stepping outside of my box. I no longer have to be, very, very reclusive, other than I am with my family, just for protection. But yeah, I'm here, world. And just let me tell you this too. The person interviewing me is my wife. Her name is Erin Williams. And I've kept her out of the site and I've kept her out of things. And it's not because I'm hiding my wife. I love my wife. It's because I protect my family. And I don't want people to be too involved in what I do. But I guess doing this, I just have to. So I mentioned that just to let people know I am married. One, because on my platforms, people be sending me messages that are disrespectful. I don't want nobody approaching me talking about hello, handsome, or anything, or come to hang out or whatever. I don't even have hangout. I don't have none of that stuff. I don't do none of that stuff. Prior to me doing this, I didn't have no social media. I don't do social media. That's not for me. And so, and I just share that to share that I am married, and I share that to say that she's been supporting me even when I was being negligent to her. And she's a good woman. She's a school teacher. And so if you need advice on any realm, we're here. Me and my wife will help you. I promise you. And if you need help getting in contact with inmates or whatever, tap in with me. If you can't find them, I'll help you find them. If you don't know how to get in contact with somebody in a certain prison yard, tell me. I have a contact in every prison. You can guarantee. Unfortunately, I've been to every level 4 in California. And then unfortunately, yeah, I have. We just gonna leave it at that. But if you need help, contact me. Use my email. It's not hard. And I think that if we come together as a people, and we the people, is the only way we can solve anything. The only way to make things better in this country and to free the brothers that are in prison with L.W.O.P.S, which is life without the possibility of parole, which does not make not one bit of sense. Um, the only way to make that change, the only way to change, um, the death penalty. And it's funny, right? Because I used to be a person that doled out violence stuff that I don't agree with the death penalty. I don't. My brother was murdered. That's where the aim to help comes from my organization. My brother Adrian Eugene Moore was murdered. My little brother was murdered. His name was Bobby Harris. Uh, Robert. But I don't agree with the death penalty. This is a country that will murder you to teach you not to murder. Think about that. You will be killed in this country to teach you not to kill. So, I mean, yeah, that doesn't coexist. So I don't agree with it. And I understand, victims advocates and, victims' rights people. I agree with victims' rights. My family has been a victim of crime. I've made people a victim of crime, unfortunately. So I believe all people have rights, and I believe victims have rights. And I think that the death penalty is bad. I believe that a lot of things need to be changed. These are my personal opinions. If you agree with me, you will enjoy this ride. And it ain't going to be bumpy. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. And we're going to go way, 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 way up. And we're never going to descend like that. We're going to just barely have some barely go downs, because I'm going to keep going up and barely go down and then keep going up. And it's the top of everything. We're going to make it work. God bless. Have a good day. And I aim to help. I hope you do. And I hope you are. And if you aren't, I hope you do so.